Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of What If Tanjiro Was Sent to the Past. Last time we left off after Muzan arriving at the Kamado household, recognizing the water Hashira kneeling before him, attempting to behead him, however Tanjiro effortlessly dodged and countered. Having been waiting for this moment. Without further delay, let's begin. Aggravated, Muzan would try again, however Tanjiro would slice the appendage off using water wheel. Tanjiro would then say that it has been a while Muzan Kibuzui. Confused, Muzan would demand that the mortal explains himself, knowing that he had never met the kid before. Tanjiro would then remove his headscarf and mask, revealing his long burgundy hair, flame-shaped demon slayer mark on the left of his forehead and Hanafuda earrings. Recognizing them, Muzan would start to tremble, having 7 heart attacks as the image of Yoritichi overlapped Tanjiro. Scared, Muzan would attempt to run away, sending a signal for the Biwa demon to open a portal to the Infinity Fortress, allowing him to escape. Not wanting to lose the opportunity to finish Muzan, Tanjiro would use Wall's flash to also enter the door, slicing Muzan in half through the torso with his bright red blade, hampering his regeneration. Tanjiro would then attempt to use Flame Dance, however before he could do so, he is teleported by Nakime to a large open room with multiple pillars and all the upper moons, upper 5 Gyoko, upper 3 Hantengu, upper 2 Akaza, and upper 1 Kokushibo. As Tanjiro stepped into the castle's vast chamber, he sensed their presence immediately. The upper moons emerged from the shadows, each radiating a terrifying aura that sent chills down his spine. Kokushibo, the demon with unmatched swordsmanship, took the lead, his crimson eyes narrowing at the young demon slayer's Hanafuda earrings, remembering his brother who he hated so much. Without hesitation, Tanjiro lunged forward, launching himself at Akaza, the former human turned upper moon 2 with incredible speed and strength. Akaza's fists were a blur, but Tanjiro deftly dodged and countered, each strike of his Nishirin blade leaving deep gashes on the demon's flesh. Akaza grinned maniacally, delighted by the challenge, as their battle raged on. Meanwhile, Hantengu, the clone demon of Upper Moon 3, decided to test Tanjiro's observation skill. He split into multiple copies, creating a chaotic storm of lightning, wind and spears around the demon slayer. However, within the blink of an eye all 4 clones were beheaded with Sun Halo Dragon. Due to them being beheaded with a bright red blade, their regeneration was slowed, so Gyoko intervened, protecting them. Grinning wickedly, he unleashed his deadly pot-based fish attacks. Reaching into his large pot, pulling out an assortment of grotesque fish-like demons, each with razor-sharp teeth and venomous spines. With a flick of his wrist, he sent them hurtling towards Tanjiro. The fish demons swarmed around Tanjiro, their vicious bites and toxic spines making it slightly difficult for him to maneuver. Tanjiro deflected the attacks with his Nishirin blade and tried to retaliate, but the sheer numbers somewhat overwhelmed him. Gyoko's evil laughter echoed through the chamber as he watched the young demon slayer struggle. As the situation grew dire, Tanjiro controlled his breathing, drawing from his training. Tanjiro honed his focus and adapted his water breathing technique to create a whirlpool of water around him. The swirling water disrupted the fish demon's trajectory, causing them to collide with each other or miss Tanjiro entirely. Seizing the opportunity, Tanjiro struck back, launching towards Gyoko, nearly beheading him, however he shed his skin at the last second, entering his true snake-like form. Gyoko and Akaza would then surround Tanjiro with a flurry of rapid punches, however Tanjiro would use Dead Calm to deflect them all. Surprised by the skill of Tanjiro, Akaza would ask Tanjiro to become a demon, stating that it would be a waste to die with such talents, however Tanjiro declined. Jumping behind Akaza, slicing his arm in half in the process, then beheading Gyoko like it was nothing. Despite beheading an upper moon, Tanjiro was given no time to rest as from the shadows emerged an army of wooden dragons. Each more fearsome than the last and all eager to tear the young demon slayer apart. Gritting his teeth, Tanjiro activated his breath of water and charged into the fray. His Nishirin blade danced with deadly precision as he fought against the onslaught of beasts. Every slash and strike sent demonic chunks of wood flying, but more creatures continued to appear, seemingly endless. With each moment, the battle grew more desperate. Tanjiro was forced to defend himself from all sides, his senses working overtime to anticipate the attacks of the ever-changing monsters. He knew he couldn't keep up this pace forever, he needed to find a way to break Hantengu's control over the Zohakuten. Zohakuten would then repeatedly hit his drums, making the dragons shoot all of the elements of the previous emotion clones. However, Tanjiro would use Dead Calm once again to block and then slice through all the dragons, jumping towards Zohakuten within the blink of an eye, beheading the clone who attempted to unleash a powerful shockwave as his head fell. However, Tanjiro sliced his head into hundreds of pieces and then focused his breath and instincts, searching for the real Hantengu, using the transparent world and his inhuman sense of smell. Locating the demon, Tanjiro would dodge a flurry of punches from Akaza, slicing his legs as he slid past him, then slicing a pillar in half, revealing the true Hantengu's body. With one swift stroke, he managed to decapitate the true demon, disintegrating him and Zohakuten. With just Akaza and Kokushibo left, Tanjiro would wipe his sweat, and grip his sword with determination, remembering what he was fighting for, giving him the power to keep fighting. Kokushibo, the formidable Upper Moon One, stepped forward with his moon-breathing technique. His blade hummed with otherworldly power as he clashed with Tanjiro, their swords sparking with each collision. Kokushibo's centuries of experience gave him the upper hand, but Tanjiro's determination and newfound strength pushed him to keep up the fight. Realizing he couldn't win without sun breathing, Tanjiro would jump back, creating distance between the three of them, focusing his breathing, entering the selfless state, completely erasing his fighting spirit, completely throwing Akaza's fighting style off guard as it felt like he was fighting a plant. Using the opening, Tanjiro would use fake rainbow to create an after-image which Kokushibo and Akaza would hit. However, the real Tanjiro had jumped above Akaza doing a backflip, then using setting sun transformation to behead Akaza. Shocked that he was beheaded and not wanting to die, Akaza would attempt to regenerate his head. However, while Tanjiro was fighting Kokushibo, Tanjiro would yell at Akaza to remember those he loved, his parents, master, and maybe a lover, stating that whoever it was, someone was waiting for him to return to them, so he has no reason to fight or get stronger as he has no one to protect. Remembering his wife, Akaza would smile as he started to disintegrate. With only Upper Moon One left, Tanjiro would reveal more of his power. As Tanjiro faced off against the mighty Upper Moon One Kokushibo inside the Infinity Castle, he could feel the weight of the battle ahead. The crimson-eyed demon exuded an aura of overwhelming power and centuries of combat experience. Undeterred, Tanjiro tightened his grip on his Nishirin blade and prepared for the fight of his life. Kokushibo wasted no time and lunged at Tanjiro with blinding speed, his moon-breathing technique cutting through the air with lethal precision. Tanjiro deftly dodged each strike, countering with his own water-breathing techniques. Their swords clashed, sparking with the intensity of their clash. Despite Kokushibo's overwhelming skill, Tanjiro held his own, drawing strength from his training and determination to protect his loved ones. The battle continued with a ferocity that shook the very foundations of the castle. As the battle raged on, Kokushibo revealed new techniques, making it increasingly difficult for Tanjiro to keep up. The demon's blade left deep gashes on Tanjiro's body, but the young demon slayer refused to falter. His unwavering spirit and the teachings of his allies flowed through him, fueling his resolve. Drawing upon everything he had learned and endured, Tanjiro unleashed a technique he had never before used in combat, the 14th form of his dance of the fire god, Hinakami Kagura. God's divine dance, 14th form, bursting solar flare. In a dazzling display of fire, Tanjiro's blade erupted with brilliant flames, as power surged through him, catching Kokushibo off guard. Tanjiro's attacks intensified, the flames of the Hinakami Kagura searing through Kokushibo's defenses. The demon felt a sense of dread as he realized the true extent of Tanjiro's potential. Each strike of the 14th form left scorching marks on Kokushibo's body, weakening him with each passing moment. But Kokushibo was no pushover. Drawing on his vast experience, he unleashed his own secret techniques, causing the battle to escalate to new heights. The Infinity Castle trembled under the impact of their clashing powers. As the fight reached its crescendo, Tanjiro knew he had to give it his all. His body ached, but he pressed on, refusing to back down. The determination to protect the people he cherished and the memories of those he had lost drove him forward. With one final, desperate surge of strength, Tanjiro channeled all his power into a single, decisive strike. His 14th form danced with a blinding brilliance, a manifestation of his indomitable will and the legacy of the fire god. In a flash of light, Tanjiro's blade connected with Kokushibo's, sending shockwaves throughout the castle. The clash resounded like a thunderous explosion, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. When the dust settled, Tanjiro stood, panting and wounded, but victorious. Kokushibo, with a look of astonishment on his face, disintegrated into nothingness. The battle had come to an end. As the Infinity Castle returned to its silence, Tanjiro took a moment to catch his breath, reflecting on the hard-fought victory. He knew that even greater challenges lay ahead, but with the power of sun breathing and the resolve in his heart, he was determined to face whatever came his way. Tanjiro would use the calm before the storm to stretch up any wounds he got and use recovery breathing to help with healing, closing up his wounds. After 15 minutes to rest, Tanjiro would get back up, having already located Nakime, realizing that the only way to find and defeat Muzan would be to kill Nakime and destroy the Infinity Fortress. After being redirected multiple times, Tanjiro finally reached the room with Nakime in it. As Tanjiro faced Nakime, the upper moon 4, inside the Infinity Castle, the atmosphere was tense with anticipation. Tanjiro's eyes narrowed as he observed the crafty demon before him. He knew that Nakime's ability of absolute dominion over the space, being able to manipulate and alter it at will by simply strumming her biwa, would make this battle incredibly challenging. The battle began with Nakime manipulating the fortress's architecture. She conjured massive pillars, which appeared out of thin air, aiming to crush Tanjiro. With quick reflexes and his sun-breathing techniques, Tanjiro managed to dodge the pillars as they crashed down, shattering the ground beneath. Seeing that Tanjiro was adept at evading her attacks, Nakime teleported him to another location within the fortress. As he reappeared in the new area, he found himself surrounded by spike traps. With the precision and speed of his sun breathing, he maneuvered through the traps, determined to find a way back to Nakime. Nakime continued to play with the fortress's layout, teleporting Tanjiro to different sections, each more treacherous than the last. In one instance, she teleported him to the edge of a massive drop, threatening to send him plunging to his doom. Tanjiro had to use his sun breathing to launch himself back to safety. Despite Nakime's constant attempts to disorient and trap him, Tanjiro's unwavering determination and ingenuity kept him in the fight. He strategized and adapted his movements, using his sun breathing to propel himself through Nakime's spatial manipulations and find a way back to confront her. Tanjiro's attacks became more precise and powerful with each exchange, and he managed to land a few hits on Nakime. However, the demon's control over the fortress's structure gave her an advantage, allowing her to create barriers and obstacles to protect herself. The battle intensified as Nakime teleported Tanjiro to an unfamiliar area, far away from the main battle site. With determination burning in his eyes, Tanjiro refused to be deterred. He relied on his keen instincts to guide him back to her location. With sheer willpower, Tanjiro managed to return to Nakime's side, catching her off guard. He unleashed a powerful sun-breathing technique, forcing Nakime to defend herself against the onslaught. In a final, decisive strike, Tanjiro's sun-breathing reached its peak, and he shattered Nakime's defenses. With a blaze of fiery power, he overwhelmed the demon, leaving her vulnerable. Nakime let out a horrified scream as she disintegrated into nothingness. As the echoes of the battle faded, Tanjiro stood victorious. Okay guys, this is the end of this part of What If Tanjiro Was Sent to the Past. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, commenting any video suggestions, and subscribing to the channel with the notification bell enabled to be notified whenever I upload. With that out the way, this is Demonic Saiyan saying bye.